Dear accountant, welcome, welcome, welcome. For accountants all over Australia, big towns, small towns, from Perth all the way to Brisbane, from Darwin all the way to Adelaide, and everything in between, welcome to tonight. My name is Julio De Lafitte, and I am the founder of JDL Strategies. Tonight, I want to bring you an integration between AI, your role, and the role of the client in their own journey. I want to share with you some of my personal journey, and I want to share with you that tonight you're going to get so much value of this conversation. I am a very wealthy man because of an accountant that showed up in my life. And I understand the value of accessing the wisdom inside of an accountant's heart and mind and your business. Our endeavor tonight is to put together all of these conversations and be able to offer you AI that is unprecedented. We have been recognized by Amazon as the most sophisticated AI in the sector. And this is not alone. We take the opportunity to thank all the accountants that have worked with us for the last 30 years in making this vision possible. So look, who am I? I understand some of you are already alliances here. I understand some of you have made money with us for over decades now. I understand also that some of you came here because of ads we just put onto the digital marketing campaigns. So for those of you that are meeting me for the first time, I just want to take this moment to tell you a little bit about my journey and who I am. I'm Julio De Lafitte, the founder of Just Do Life Strategies. And what you will find is I have been invited 3 times to speak in Parliament about the future of the Australian economy. I just want to play a little bit of that video, and you will understand that from the beginning, I've been talking to people about accessing the wisdom of accountants and also the interface of technology as it emerges and comes our way. Let me play that video for you right now. The whole conversation about being here this morning is very simple. Could you imagine what happened, and I'm going to talk some more about this, to Uber and the taxi industry, what happened to the accountants? Because it was like there was no Uber, and then there was Uber, and then no one took notice, and then there was no more taxis. Well, they're still there, right? They're still there. But what was the value of a tax plate, right, before Uber came along? It's $500,000 for a license. What's the value of it tonight? These are incredible conversations. And we are working with accountants across Australia, not about accounting in the future, but accounting in the future of the future in the now. I want you to imagine, right, a software that has the ability to look at 100,000 data points simultaneously. And that's not in the future. We have it tonight. It will be exactly what I have just described. Analyze the traffic of financial data, predict the best route, call all the inefficiencies, and put forward appropriate adjustments. While doing it all, it will create the entire file notes, help the humans with the strategy, and guess what? Never print an uncompliant plan. What about that? So as you can see, the core of my speech, accountants, the most underused is strategic leadership in Australia. As a matter of fact, if you start to see what this conversation is going to lead to is this. So why are we here? Let me reframe this. To reframe the trusted identity of the accountant's role going forward. Further than tax, compliance, or business advisory, the strategic leader who shapes financial destinies, using AI and going beyond the tax architecture of a client's financial future. That's what we want to do. Today is about unlocking wisdom, strategy, and profitability. It does not matter the media channel or the size of the room. What you will find in my communication for years is that accountants need to bottle their wisdom. And I mean bottle it so people can actually have it. I have spoken in many rooms. I have spoken in chats and all sorts of engagements, small rooms, large crowds. And one of the feedbacks we had all along, every single time we show up, what is JDL strategies? We talk to people about increasing their wealth, about minimizing the tax, about getting rid of debt. That's our core philosophy. So you get really clear. We have created over 2,400 multimillionaires on the books, recognized so by Financial Review and all sorts of other media. What I want to say to you is this: the feedback we get all the time is, why did my accountant not tell me this? Every single time we come and present, we get some sort of that feedback. And what I wanted to say often is this: because you did not ask the right questions, because you didn't pay enough, because it's not your accountant's job. But that's not enough of a conversation. What I want to actually do is to have with you an insight, a disclosure of my personal journey. So it feels like I'm going to tell you a little bit of how come I am the founder of JDL and what happened in my life. I am absolutely grateful to an accountant who changed the destiny of my entire life. I'm a very wealthy man because of a sequence of events that took shape. And I know how important the wisdom that lives inside of you is to your clients, that perhaps not even you have thought it. So let me tell you, some of you know, but I want to tell you from a really grateful soul. So here we go. When I arrived in Australia, I realized very early that access to money here was much easier than in my own country of origin, Brazil. So within 2 years of living in Australia, I bought a house. And then a year later, I bought another one. I worked 2 jobs and we lived from the income of my wife. After I was in the country already on my 3rd year, somebody said to me, "Have you lodged your tax return?" You won't believe it that I hadn't. So I went to see the accountant for the first time. When I sat with the accountant, that moment was transformational. As the accountant started asking me questions, he said, "Which one of the houses do you live in?" And little did I know, I had moved with my wife to another house with another couple, which we rented. And I rented out my 2 other houses. So my accountant then started explaining to me that because I did not live in any of the houses, they had different rules because they were investment properties. And he told me he was going to depreciate the houses while the houses were going up in value. To be honest, I left the room. I quickly called my dad and I told him what was going on. I said, "Dad, I'm in Australia right now, inside of an Australian accountant's office, and he's telling me that he's going to depreciate my properties as if it was a truck in my delivery company or a tractor in my farm, because the purpose of the properties are investment, different rules apply." And my dad said to me, "Be careful, get out, it's a scam." And I said, "Dad, the accountant is, I'm in his office, all the credentials are on the walls." Little do you know that my accountant lodged my tax return. And within 6 weeks, I got a check back for $3,000. To young Julio, that was a lot of money. But something else happened. I want you to know that I went to see that accountant every Thursday. And I asked him, "Can I buy you lunch?" Every Thursday, I took my accountant and he took a liking to me. And I used to take him out to lunch and I asked him what else I do not know. And he had the patience and the kindness to explain to me companies, trusts, structures, conversations, whatever I buy tonight, it's cheaper tomorrow. I could not express how wonderful those lunches were. And it's again, just right place at the right time. So when somebody says to us in our events, why did my accountant not tell me this? I go into dissonance. I go into dissonance is because perhaps you, as a client, do not know how to extract the wisdom from your accountant. See, here's the thing. An accountant sees more businesses in 30 days than anyone else would see in 10 years. They spot cash flows, sales, tech, and marketing issues. They see businesses from failure to wins every month of every year. And you still think you are paying for accounting? What are you thinking about? You've got to pay for wisdom. Today is about unlocking wisdom, strategy, and profitability. And the way we're going to do is close what's inside of your client's head, what's inside of the operation of your accounting firm, and the AI that makes it all possible really fast. An accountant mentor changed my life forever. And because of that conversation, I started JDL Strategies. As a matter of fact, I want to show you another role of another accountant. So because of my lunches, I start sitting down and working out how can I drive my tax to very little? How many houses would I have to own? And I became obsessed with the idea of the more I invested, the less tax I paid. And I had a great mentor. You fast forward this moment, I'm now 27 years of age. It was Christmas, New Year's, and I was sitting and my wife's family having dinner, and my father-in-law asked me the question, what is your New Year's resolution? And I quickly moved on to tell him I wanted to be $1 million in debt as fast as I could to buy as many houses as I could. You should have seen his face. I think he looked, and in his face, he communicated to his daughter by saying, I think you married an idiot. See, the point is, we started having this argument, and I was trying to explain to him that in every property, I had two partners, that I was indeed responsible for the debt. However, I had two partners paying for it, the tenant and the ATO. And anyway, rather than disrespect my father-in-law, I asked him, I said, John, can we do this? Can you please call your accountant? It's Christmas time. Let's just hang out. You know, Italian families, they all know each other. The accountant did come, and we sat over coffee and cake. And I just started drawing down what I was doing. And he was asking me some questions. And he looked at my father-in-law and said, John, the boy's right. The truth is, that moment was happening because an accountant took some time to explain to me the principles of wealth creation. Somewhat out of the accountant's day-to-day, isn't it? So then another accountant sat with my father-in-law and me and validated their strategy. That's the day that JDL Strategies was born within me. I thought, you know what? I'm going to teach this. I'm going to teach this to people. And so from the beginning, the company was based on education and strong relationships with the accountant, strong relationships to help people to achieve in life. Now, this idea that we cannot access the wisdom, my accountant, why didn't my accountant tell me this? I got, again, so engrossed with that. I wrote a book. Is your accountant an idiot? Please notice, it's not a statement, it is a question. I want to drive this question because obviously the answer is no. There is no idiot in the house. As a matter of fact, if you were to open the book, what you will find is the following. Let me read it to you. Even if this doesn't make any sense yet, call your accountant today and say these three things. I love you, forgive me, double my fees. I love you, forgive me, double my fees. Now, what would happen to you if your clients started calling you and saying these things? I doubt that many years as an accountant, maybe you got a call like that once or twice in your lifetime. So the conversation is this. I say to the reader, once you understand why and you'll be one of the few that will enjoy wealth in life. Why? Because you will access the wisdom. The whole conversation is, what is the price of the accountant's wisdom? I say to people all over Australia, if you were to do this and make such phone call, you could even hear your accountant fall from the chair, because those calls don't come very often. But think about the logistics and the manner and the impact of such call. The truth is, the fee that your accountant charges you, he will do what he does. She will do what they've been up to for a long time. Got it? But if you were to say double my fees, what would be the extra money for? Imagine if you were to say to your client and to your accountant, right? Client accountant, depends on how you're watching this. But imagine if a client was to say to the accountant, hey, for the extra money, I just want you to tell me what your rich clients are doing. I don't need to know their names. I just need to know what they are doing. Now, every accounting firm have clients that are doing better than the majority. Pareto rule is real. So if a client is wise enough to say, I'll pay you this much money, do the accounting, I'll pay you more. Just talk to me. What is rich people doing? What are they doing? And the accountant actually start to realize that that ability to see businesses, to see people's lives has incredible value. And the client could realize that actually accessing that value would transform their lives like it transformed mine. That's where we are going with this presentation. And now we know that people are busy. And we know if we're to really put a value on the wisdom of the accountant, the average client, doesn't matter how successful he or she would be, it'll be very expensive to actually buy all that wisdom. The AI is going to close all the gaps. So guys, I say to clients, why wouldn't you be top 10% in your accountant's mind? Do it, right? So a message that I have for all Australians, you should indeed consider doubling your accountant's fees. Now, I understand also that there is an incredible piece where most accounting firms have difficulty in finding new accountants and people are busy all the time. And I saw a trend over the last 15 years that some firms start to just focus on businesses. They're going after the business clients. They're going after the business as the key client. And then they look after the business, the companies, and the individuals. However, I want you to know that we too, as JDL Strategies, access lots of very wealthy individuals, business owners, doctors, lawyers, architects. And what happens is in the personal manner, they want to know how to get ahead. They want to pay the house off faster. They want to take their kids to the best holidays. And this is where we're going to close the gap today. So let me just straight away cut to the chase here. And I want to read this to you. Cutting to our experience now as JDL Strategies. By the way, I will mention this a few times. We have created over 2,400 multimillionaires on the books, reported by Fame Review, by many, many other organizations. And that's why I got invited to speak in Parliament, because of the very work, the nature of the conversations we're having right now. So clients desperately want tax minimization. They want debt reduction and wealth creation working as one, but they do not know how to ask for it. They lack real financial literacy, and accountants have never been empowered to charge for the wisdom that they already hold. That is the game, right? So the reality check right now is this. AI has already begun replacing the work accountants thought protected them. Clients will abandon compliance work and advisory the moment AI outperforms both. Yet they will never leave the accountant who can transform their business and or personal financial future. Tax minimization is a given. That's what they want, to pay less tax, but there's no loopholes, right? It's assumed. Strategic leadership is priceless. The accountant who steps beyond compliance becomes the architect of a client's entire financial life. That's what we're looking at. So, guys, you start to see this conversation. Now, as you understand that we have over 30 years doing this, alliances with accountants in every state in Australia, I want to tell you what the symptoms of the disconnect really are. Clients either do not know or they do not act. It's impossible to act when you do not know. Sometimes they know and don't act. And every year they come to you, how do I minimize my tax? How do I minimize my tax? There are no more loopholes. However, it is true though, the more you invest and you have the right selection of investments, you can reduce your tax accordingly. And the conversation needs to be had. And what you'll see me do today is leverage that through AI in ways that you've never seen before. We're bringing in together the 30 years experience into one platform. What I want to deliver to you and to your business future today is unprecedented and unparalleled. So let me say this to you. Clients not paying for wisdom or paying unnecessary tax, which way do you want it? I want your clients to pay for the wisdom and then be able to make some decisions on minimizing that tax by understanding their numbers, not inside of fear, but inside of deep understanding. Another symptom, access to compliance and accounting strategy only. So many clients, they do want more, but they do not know how to ask for it. Now the conversation is this. No integration, it has to go. The three have to come together. The more you invest, less tax you pay. The less tax you pay, the more you drive your debt down. The less debt you have, the more you invest. That integration is key to this conversation. And what we'll do is deliver that. So here's the real problem and the solution. So problem, solution coming together, right? Clients want deployed integration. They do. Now, what we understand is that some accounting firms have broking, have financial planning, and integration happens there. What we are is the final frontier. For many accountants across Australia, we are their property and education division. So what we have created are events, education-driven events. No hard sell, no push. People come together. Once the clients have clarity on their numbers, boom, then we can start integrating because that's what they want. Need for real financial education. That's why we run our events. That's why our events are so successful. And don't take me wrong, after a company has been doing it for 3 decades, our conversation, it is absolutely killer. It takes out the fluff, it takes out the BS. Bottom line is, or your clients are accumulating capital in a way that makes sense or they're not. And the results, we will predict all of them tonight. Here we go. Wisdom has value and a price. I've been saying that all along, and you see me repeat that. I will drive that over and over. As a matter of fact, this book, we dreamed that this book would be a book that accountants would give to their clients. Because if you understand the message here, by the time that a client reads this book, what actually happens is the client says, my God, this accountant brings me so much value, so much value. Let me just read something here, okay? This is at the back. It says, warning, this is not for the faint of heart. It says that. By reading this, you may find that the idiot lives somewhere else. The idiot is the version of your client that knows nothing. We're going to fix that via the AI. Now, some people say to me the word idiot is too heavy. Man, all I am doing right now is calling people to responsibility. That's all I want to do. You don't want to be a fool. You want to be plugged in, understand where it's leading. So, the hidden opportunity. Your clients are ready for more. You know it, I know it. So let's integrate this thing. They want wealth with tax advice. So if we're to put those two things together, the worlds coming together, the two worlds coming together. The accountant is the trust, JDL becomes the execution. Everything disclosed, everything mapped out, there is no space for nonsense, and everything's inside of a frame that everybody understands. The client understands, the accountant understands, JDL understands and executes. From your client's point of view, I don't care how successful they are. A client's desire to succeed will fail every time unless they have full view and a strong system. So let me just, now that we're here so far, let me just play for you some of the videos of some of the accountants that are in connection with us right now.
People aren't being taught money in schools, and there's a real need for people to know, understand, and also to appreciate money. The fact, people work hard for it, and if you want to be wealthy, one of the first things you've got to do is to learn how to allocate your money. In my case, I put money into my savings first. It's the first thing I do. After all, I'm the one doing the work, so why wouldn't I pay myself first? Why go and pay everybody else by paying off your credit card and your debts? Pay yourself first, allocate your money. Then you allocate your money to your mortgage or to your rent, whatever. The idea is to make people smarter with money, so they've got a more or a bigger disposable pot of money, so they can turn around and think about investing or buying that investment property or pulling up a bag of shares or making a tax-deductible contribution into their superannuation. There are lots of things that we can help them with, and there's lots of things that people need to know when it comes to money.
I think it's that lack of financial literacy. It's that education piece, what Julio just talked about, that it's, following your parents, following your friends and your family, and they buy their house, their lifestyle asset, they've got majority of their wealth in one asset, one property, and missing out on accumulating wealth through multiple properties, through shares, through other forms of investment. I think that's the real lack of financial literacy, and that's one of the things that we're here to change.
Financial intelligence is very important because it teaches you about tax minimization, debt reduction, and asset creation. When you come, next time you're in my office, please ask me for a wealth go. That way we know exactly where you stand financially. It's very important that you do that.
We sat down together and we thought, so many clients are having, they want to get ahead, but they don't know how to. So we thought, we need to do something. We've got to help our clients to get ahead.
So what do you think? I'd love to talk to you some more about what's possible for you. Now, of course, the purpose of this presentation is not to go all over the software. The software, the AI, I'm gonna show it to you. It is revolutionary. Just one screen to show it to you. One of the reasons why we got picked up by Amazon is that the flow of information, the flow of insights is amazing. Imagine without any push, without anything, every client of yours being able to visit 40 banks in one afternoon to understand what they can borrow, cannot borrow, what not knowing. Imagine what we'll be able to map out a wealth creation process step by step. You know what? Rather than just be telling you about it, why don't I just take you through it? Now, I don't want to spend a lot of time in the software itself. I don't. It will be only for those of you that want to book an appointment to actually form an alliance, and then we will go through the software in depth. But for the sake of the presentation here today, right now, what I'm gonna do is I am going to take you through this software now and show you how it actually comes together. So once you have access to the AI, okay, JDL forms an alliance with you. We will give you access to this AI. Every one of your clients will have access to this AI. Not only that, as I told you, we are big on education. So what you would be accessing through JDL strategies is a platform of education. It can be presential or digital. We have content for people that is curated to the point. And once people understand, this will be coming from you. The education will be coming from you. The software will be coming from you. But now imagine for a moment that I will show this to you as a client, from a client's perspective. So imagine John is a client of yours, gets access to the software. It's only a few questions. What the software will do is the software doesn't know that John is John. The software will look in for all the inefficiencies in John's life. Watch how beautiful and well put this is delivering value and trust in ways that many of your clients will be dreaming of. Accessing that wisdom is the name of the game. So if you come here and, okay, John, when did you arrive on the planet? What do you do for a living? You see what happens here right now. You can see the handwork of the accountant. He's paying, the companies are paying 120 to John, 120 to Anna, right? And then it will go Anna's birthday as well. They have 2 kids. Now we have to house and educate those kids for many years to come. Here they have $150,000 sitting on an offset account. They have superannuation of 256. Is that going to be enough? Right? They have managed funds of 160,000. You can see already some integration. They have a financial advisor. It doesn't matter. The software does not know who's coming. It's just taking the numbers. Now watch this. The software is asking them, how much can you put towards your future? They're saying $1,000 per week. Yes. Okay. So now what's happening here is they want to retire in 20 years. You can see here that if $1,000 is too much, we can come here and say, you can change it on the spot. It is absolutely self-driven, right? Not 20 years. We want to retire in 18 years. Easy to use. We would like to retire with the equivalent of 150,000. If our mortgage is paid for, the kids are taken care of, the adults now, we would like to retire on the equivalent of $3,000 per week. Okay. Now watch this. They have a house worth $1,180,000 worth of debt, the value, and the debt is $245,000. Right? Here is the interest rates and their repayments at this point. The moment you press this one button, the software now is going to create for this couple 3 timelines. The most important thing, look how long it takes. It takes only a few seconds, right? Now the software will create for them 3 timelines. Just keep doing what you are doing. Just keep doing what you are doing. Number 2 is what is possible for you right now. And number 3, what if the AI was to walk with you at any given time? You can come and change the parameters. No one is trying to sell you anything, push you anything. You get present to your numbers all the time. Now, to be able to deliver that to any client that complains, oh, I'm paying too much tax, oh, why didn't you tell me this? It's the beginning of the end of the complaint. Clients need to pay for wisdom, right? Now, how are you going to do that? I'm not going to tell you how to run your business, but the truth is, clients need to pay for wisdom, right? Now, check this out. Over here, you can see that all the parameters are totally flexible. Some people that sell property investments, they will tell you that properties perform at 10% per annum, 11. They double every 10 years. No, we're extremely conservative. You can see here that we're saying inflation is 4%, property is performing at 6%. Then if the money is in the bank, 1%. What happens is all of these variables are in the open. No one is pushing any agenda. And when you press go, what is actually happening right now is to this particular couple, if they were to do nothing, just educate the kids, keep putting money into super, saving the cash, right? What happens is by the time that they retire, by the way, their own home is not part of their investments, okay? By the time they retire, $2.8 million worth of assets they can live from. And what it does is, if it already takes care of inflation, so they're saying they want to retire on $100,000 a year, and then they $100,000 a year in 18 years, will make the value of that $100,000 to buy the same goods and services we would have to spend 210. So it's already taking care of inflation. And the truth is, it tells them exactly they will run out of cash this day. Now, the beautiful part about it, if I press one button, the software now is going to look to what is possible now. Now, for those of you that already follow me, for those of you that already seen our work, we are 100% pro property. Well, there is a reason for that. We live in an island, and this island is a very young country. With the name Australia, we've been around only for 200 years or so. The truth is, everything is brand new. And the demand for houses here will be greater than the supply for many years to come. So there is no conversation. The fact that we need more people. We already know that there's a projection for Australia to have 80 million people. We already know if you go to the Bureau of Statistics right now, we're going from 27 million to 36 million in no time at all. The point I want to make here right now is this client without a strategy, the client opportunity cost right now is $5,543 per week. What's happening here, Julio? Well, what's happening is this: a client without a strategy and the client with the strategy. This is the impact of pure wisdom, right? And I'm told you, the reason why I became so wealthy is because that accountant took me to lunch and he explained that to me, sat me down and explained to me the difference between having those properties and not having them. And everything that I bought tonight, a discount tomorrow, put it all. This is the conversation of putting together all this wisdom and be able to deliver to every citizen. Now check this out. The software here right now is mapping a property. Every green box means a property. Now we can go into the detail of the detail. If somebody is trying to sell you a property investment, they will try to make the numbers all amazing. So a distinction about us and all the others: we do not sell property investments, we buy them. The richer our clients become, the more they become our clients. Yours and mine, right? So the richer that they become, the more they become our clients, they return. So the conversation here is, this is open so you can change the numbers. But when you make the analysis, you start to take away all of the fears, all of the mysteries. If I do here what is called a quick analysis, right there and then, this is tailor-made for this particular client. You can see the personal debt reduction strategy. You can see the investment strategy, the debt coming down, and the parameters can change. This is extremely eloquent and is absolutely beautiful. Now, watch this. This client would pick up, of course, the ATO and the tenant. So the tenant would be paying 63% of the bills. The ATO will be paying 36% of the bills. And in real terms, this property may cost this client after tax $4 per week. Now, we understand that the money from the ATO may come later, once a year. I'm going to be conservative with that as well. What is it that the client has to put in until the money comes back from the ATO? All in one screen. Absolutely beautiful. This property will cost this client $379 before the tax man acts, and it's all spelled out here. This is how much you're going to get in rent. This is how much you're going to get back in tax. Now, the beautiful part about this is that this can be seen as a forced savings. I'm not going to go into the detail here because it's not for this presentation, but you know the debt reduction strategy is key. And if we can get this money back from the ATO and put it into the personal debt, right? By carrying the ATO during time, and then when we get the money back, we put towards their personal debt, it will produce amazing results for these people. You can press one button and the software is going to show the client all of the analysis in terms of here's the income of the client, here's the rental income, you can see the deductions, you can see the estimated construction cost, the borrowing costs, everything beautifully laid out in one. And if the property were in one page, if the property was to be split between 50-50, You can tell that he would pick up this much tax back and she would pick up this much tax back. It's all beautifully done. The other piece also, in these little tiny details, even the what if scenarios. What if the properties don't rent? What if interest rates go up? We're not going to wait for clients to ask that question. It's already all here. What if interest rate starts going up again? Then you would know that this is your commitment. If you can't afford it, don't do it. Can't afford it, do it. What if the property was empty? You can see it all here. And what the most beautiful part for me in this conversation is, what if the software was able to plot every single time this client could move? So you see the green, every single time the analysis is fully done. What if I was to share with you, like the software we have created, it goes so wide and so deep. It's absolutely beautiful. I don't have the time in this meeting to present all the features, and that's not the point of the meeting either. But for those of you that will form alliance with us, of course, I'm very clear that some of you right now are already alliances of ours. Some of you right now just came in through the ads. But imagine to give John and Anna this power, where they can actually map out every single move that they would make. And the software would know then the value of the property, that's the year that they will move, the next time, absolutely every single piece integrated. And if I press the comparison button, this now is a client without your wisdom and a client with your wisdom, all delivered by an integrated platform. Okay, check this out. This is, of course, life is dynamic. Of course, we got to notice what's happening with the business, what's happening with life itself. But the truth is, everything being equal, if they were not to act, they'll be worth $2.8 million. If they were to buy one property investment right now and that's all they did, well, they'll be already much better off. But if they were able to act absolutely every single time, this is that. And here it becomes the interface. The client wins by knowing their numbers. The accountant wins because the platform lifts the accountant's business. The education comes from the accountant's platform in alliance with us. The software goes to the clients through the accountant's interface. This is what we set out to do and to deliver. So be very clear, be very clear. I'm very wealthy today because that accountant took time to have lunch with me, because my father-in-law's accountant took the time to come to the house and explain to my father-in-law that what I was looking at made a lot of sense. So as a matter of fact, why don't we run your own financial wealth check? Please understand this. If you take this software, you are my guest to play with it. It is designed that every single client around Australia can play with their accountant. The software was designed so that the link is shared with their accountant. However, accountants that have the software, they will generate a lot more clients because of the software. The truth is, your client, Peter, his brother Paul, may not be your client. But the moment that Peter gets this from you, Peter shares with his client, Paul will be very clear that his accountant never had that conversation. We are truly closing the gap here. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad we're having this conversation, right? So right now, my team is putting the link of the software into the chat. Come and play. Come and play. You can take a photo of the QR code. What if I was to tell you, the software keeps the valuation of all the properties at all times. The software integrates the valuation with the client's income and tell you every single time that this client should refinance, move. This thing is absolutely beautiful. It is almost alive. So come and play. So what's the point of all of this? The Wealth Goal technology will give your clients wisdom, and it should come from you like never before. It reveals inefficiencies instantly. Remember when I showed you in what's possible right now, and the software compares what they're doing with what they could be doing and gives them a result and shows them the opportunity cost? That is an absolutely incredible piece. Now, builds personalized strategies, all in writing, no hard sell, and no BS. Shows clients their possible financial futures, allowing the wisdom to come through. Adds incredible bonus value and places your firm deep in the mind of your clients by delivering the wisdom that they desire. So even if AI starts doing all the accounting going forward, your conversation now with your clients is beyond just that. And when I say just that, I'm simply saying that AI is here to stay. It's not that AI is going to take the accountants away. It's not that. It's accountants with AI that will take the accountants without AI away. So what JDL Strategies brings to the accountants? Number one, specialists and an education platform second to none. We've been doing this for 30 years. When I started, I was skinny and I had hair. 30 years, same business, JDL Strategies, a national company. I was invited to speak in Parliament because of the work we have done. We're not going to put all of that at risk of reputation dismantle. We would never do that. So then we can offer you all the other pieces you don't have. We have brokers, we have whatever it is that you need, we'll build in. The technology is a resource shared. You will have full access to our technology through WealthGo. Now, we are a buyer's advocacy group. We have never sold a house. We don't sell houses, we buy them. When we started, those words did not exist. So what we do is we buy houses for our clients. Two things I'll promise you: no crappy houses, no inflated houses. Every property comes with a valuation guarantee. So as a matter of fact, more than 30 years worth of results in creating the multimillionaires. You understand that the business model here is repeat business. So if we fail the client in buying the third property for that client's not coming back for the fourth or the fifth, much less the first one or the second one. As a matter of fact, what I would like to share with you is this. When we actually do the business of doing what we do, the client comes into the software, they appreciate, the software will create for that client everything in writing. And we provide a valuation guarantee every single time and disclosure to commissions. So then what actually happens is this. If a client was to go out and buy a property investment themselves and they find something that they like, got it. They will then contact the real estate agent who represents the seller. Let's just say then that it's a real estate agent from PRD or Ray White or any other. What happens then is that you and I know that once the contract is signed, the real estate agent is going to make the commission. What we do is we represent the buyer. We may go to the seller, to the developer and say, hey, if this client who's already good to go, we know their finance capabilities, they're good to execute, would you pay us the commission? That commission gets disclosed in the very first time we meet every client. No hidden agenda, no inflated properties, and we would get the commission that the seller agent would get. So we are the buyer agent, right? So we represent the buyer, but the client knows we're gonna get a commission. Everybody knows. So when that commission comes in, that commission gets shared between your business and my business. This only for those that are alliances of ours. So the business plan is very, very straightforward. It's a conversation between you and us. Some accountants already have a broking division. They facilitate money. If you have that, brilliant. Some other accounting firms have financial planning. If you have that, brilliant. What we look for is to become the property division and the education division to your business. So, trusted relationships, education on how to tax plan, debt reduce, and create wealth. Number 3, end of lacking of investment clarity for every client. Number 4, long-term influence. Number 5, untapped potential for your business and my business. So when trust meets execution, the client wins, the accountant wins, the alliance makes the value of your business increase. So our partnership model is very straightforward. As I said a moment ago, we would like to be the property division of your company. If you want to have that, you will access an incredible AI. You're going to access our buying power. At any given time, we're buying between 20, 30, 40 houses. And we then say to the developer, if these properties do not value, we'll kill the deal. So please understand, absolutely everything we say goes in writing. By the end of the interview, the AI will create for every client a tailor-made process explaining step by step. It is standard, and there is no inflated houses. There's no BS. The more clear the client becomes, the more the client returns. It is that powerful. It is that simple. And then from a client's perspective, they come into an event. In that event, we'll have the distinctions between doing the investments, not doing the investments, go take them through the impact of what we have taught for 30 years. Then they can go into the software. The software will tell them on the spot if they can act or they cannot. And if they cannot, then they can start acting or getting their finances right to do so. After that, we have a strategy session. We can then go make a decision to go and source a property, implement all the steps which are disclosed to clients, and once the commission comes through, we'll share on the commission as per our agreement. So again, I just want to say to you, this is what the technology is all about. It's about clients accessing wisdom like never before. It's about having clarity with their numbers. Stay as you are, do something, or do things every time you can. Manage your risk, because there is no such a thing as investing without risk. If somebody tells you there is no risk, they're lying. But what is the risk of doing nothing? All the unknown ends today. So when we talk about a business model, again, everything starts with education. 360 degrees transparency all the way. We want repeat business. That's what's all about. So a deeper client engagement with your practice, whatever way AI may go. So what happens here is this. We run digital events and presential events all the time. There is an obligation of you playing in at least 3 events per annum. We don't really care if they're going to be digital. We can do an event just for you, just for your clients with you. You can ask your clients to come to an event of ours. At the end of the day, you will understand the platform. The platform is always precise. Debt reduction, tax minimization, and investing. Use the software just in the slide I showed you before, okay? We don't want to be talking to accountants that are not interested in this. If this is not for you, it's fine. For those of you, though, that understand what we are doing here, what will happen here is this: the value of your accounting business is going to go through the roof because you have generated income through accounting, some of you through finance and financial planning. Now you're going to generate income through property investments, fully disclosed. There's no hidden agenda. Everything is exactly the way we set out to do. Accountants are worth double every day of the week. So what happens now is we have the transfer of know-how into action. So check this out. It's a triple win. When the client wins, the accountant wins. Repeat business. Wealthier clients, better accounting business. JDL wins because we buy volume. The beautiful part about buying volume is this: there is no builder developer in Australia who doesn't know JDL strategies. As I said a moment ago, we're buying between 20 and 30 properties all the time across Australia. We're also agnostic. Our clients in Brisbane want to buy in Brisbane. Our clients in Sydney want to buy in Sydney. Our clients in Melbourne want to buy in Melbourne, and so on. The truth is, we want to buy where the properties are going to go up in value so we can repeat the process. So we're by volumes. When one individual walks in and joins us, at that moment we'll be buying 20, 30 houses. That one individual gets all the privileges and benefits of buying volume. No client is alone. No client's alone. Every process is designed, explained, and then executed according to the plan. And again, all the benefits that we get from buying volume, we pass it on to the individual because we want that individual to become a client again and again. As a matter of fact, the majority of accountants that have joined us bought many properties through JDL. So JDL is the ultimate buying properties process in Australia. More power in negotiations, always backed by a valuation guarantee. If a client comes through the whole entire process, sign the contract, we'll go beyond cooling off periods. If the property does not value within the parameters, we will shut it down and get the client another one. We do not work for the seller, we work for the buyer, okay? So what we want to do is to lead clients into wealth. So guys, I'm now almost at the end of this presentation. If you're on a flight, you'd be hearing something like this. Is the captain saying, cabin crew, prepare for landing. That's where we are. So if you would like to consider being a alliance of JDL strategies, just to life strategies, all you got to do is to take a copy of this QR code. My team is putting again the link into registration here. And what will happen is this, in the link, you will come into a calendar and you can book an appointment with Marcius Bispo. He will explain to you the process, will explain to you what we are all about and how we integrate your company into the technology. Now, we're going to also evaluate, he's going to do an evaluation of our capacity to integrate with you. It's a two-way interview. As much as you're interviewing us, we'll be interviewing you. We'll be sharing with you some details of what we do, how we do, the things that we do. Every commission we get is standard and disclosed to every party, to the clients, the very first moment they meet us. There's no hidden agenda, no BS. We are looking for 12 new partners right now. Why? Because we have got grants for our AI, and what we want to do is hear from you about your AI perspective, where this is going, and the name of the game is to take on the wisdom that is in your head, in your heart, and pass it on to your clients. And the truth is, time is a limitation, so we're going to leverage it through AI. The other thing also that we have noticed is that in the alliances we have formed with accountants before, they often have some marketing challenges. They do not market to the database. Some do, some don't. The point is, whatever it is that you need. We've been doing this for 30 years. Everything is tailor-made. If you need a lot of marketing, great. If you don't, great. And part of this conversation is, what do we need to do to increase the value of your business? Some of you want to increase the value of the business for sale. The greater the revenue, the more the value of the business. We'll help you with that. And if you are selling, we'd like to hear from you as well, right? If you're already thinking about retirement and you want to sell, we'd love to have that conversation. That will be with me. So what happens is this, all the costs of what we're going to do together will be paid by the new revenue we're going to create together, okay? So we're going to reverse engineer whatever it is that you need for your business growth, for your income growth. We're going to be funded by the alliances with JDL. What we want to do is to create a lot of possibilities for you and make 2026 a much greater year. Every way it's possible to do. All standard commissions are, as I said this multiple times, and now in writing, here's part of my public presentation. All standard commissions are disclosed to clients upfront, and those commissions then are shared between our businesses. So a wealthy nation needs wealthy individuals, and that's what we're setting out to do. So if you are interested right now, you will come again into the QR code or the link the team is posting, and Marcius will give you a call. Now, of course, the Q&A will be done privately for obvious reasons. We're not going to be discussing, particulars of your accounting firm or leveraging processes of our software in a public view. If you are interested, we'll take it seriously. Guys, my name is Julio De Lafitte, and I am playing to raise the financial intelligence of Australia. Thank you so much for your time. You have an incredible evening, and I will see you very soon.